Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Scott Starnes, and today is the first Monday in 2021. I hope that you're as excited about 2021 as I am. I've got my goals set in stone, I've got my vision set, and to be quite honest, I'm ready to rock and roll. So I hope that you're in the same boat, and I hope that everything is going well for you in this new year. We got a lot of things. Uh, really excited about a few things that I'm going to talk about here momentarily. But Jimmy's not with us today. He is on an adventure. I'm sure he'll discuss more about that later in the week. But today I just want to speak with you about building business. Okay. When we look at building a business, I personally think that there are five key principles that you need to keep in mind. The first one is cultivating relationships. Okay. So when you start a business, whether it's with another person, whether it's by yourself, and maybe you're trying to build a team, whatever the case may be, the first thing you need to do is be authentic, be who you are, be genuine. And when you have conversations with other people, or you're putting yourself in a situation where you're getting to know other people and you're investing in other people, it is so important for you to be authentic. Relationships are built on trust. So the authenticity just goes and it helps you to be someone that other people will want to know, like, and trust. And yes, I borrowed that from sales because it's important here as well when we talk about building relationships in our businesses. Okay. So we need to be intentional about the relationships that we're building. If you can't build a relationship on trust in your business, you're not going to be very successful. Okay. So, at the core of who you are, you have to be authentic. You have to be who you are and take a risk. You've got to give some semblance of vulnerability so that other people won't see you as apprehensive or see you in a manner in which you don't want to be seen. Okay. So it's important for us to be authentic and engage with other individuals in the business that we're in. The second principle is knowing your why and living it. Last week we talked about knowing your why and being able to uh, identify with it so deeply at your core that you live it on a regular basis. Your why is deeply personal to you. I can't give you your why. You can't get your why from someone else. Your why, or in other words, why you're doing what you're doing, has to be generated from deep inside you. Simon Sinek wrote a book, and I'm sure that you've seen it before. Start with why. I encourage you to read that book to the point where you're living that book, because when you start with why, everything else builds on that, and it just becomes it becomes you. You become your why. You live that on a daily basis. The third principle goes back to an older book called Good to Great. It's one of my favorite books as far as business is concerned, because it transcends business. It transcends all of the different um, professions that are out there. Because one of the things that he talks about in that book is getting the right people in the right seats. And when I look at principles of business, this is one of the things that is extremely important to me. So as you're recruiting or as you're building your business, one of the things that you need to keep in mind is you need to have the right people in the right seats on the right bus going to the right place. And as you're going through the hiring process or as you're networking and looking at people with whom to partner, that's one of the key things that you have to keep in mind. Now, how can you do that? Well, the only way that you can do that is the fourth principle, and that is to make sure that you see the whole picture. That's a little tougher if your mind is not used to thinking in those terms. You hear people say quite a bit, just take the 30,000-foot view. Look at it as a whole so that you can see the individual parts. Well, when you can see the individual parts, that's when you can begin to assign seats for the individuals. So let me give you another example. If if I'm building a team to do a specific job, I want to make sure that they are not all of the same personality type. If they're all the same personality type, then what you run into is everyone wanting what they want instead of looking at the whole picture and looking at the group as a whole. So, what we have to do as leaders of our organizations is we have to see whether you do some type of personality profile or some of the color schemes, whatever the case may be, disc profile, you can utilize that to craft a team to where you have multiple strengths. Okay. You don't want everyone to have the same strength because at that point, part of what it is you're trying to accomplish won't get done. So that's the fourth principle, is seeing the whole picture. You not only want to see the trees, but you need to see the whole picture. You need to practice looking at everything as a whole. So what happens when you do that is long term, it actually helps you be able to begin to be intuitive. It helps you be intuitive and in tune with your vision. Because when you become intuitive about the people that you're working with, you can see how they fit with your overall vision of the company. And then the fifth principle has a couple of parts to it, but it involves investing in other people. Okay, when you are building a business, you need to take the focus off yourself. You need to look at how you can serve other people in the position that you're in. You need to look at how you can put people in a position to win. And there are three ways that you can do that. One is to equip them. Okay. When people come into your organization, regardless of what type of business it is, they need to be taught the basics. They need to be taught the foundations of the business. If they're not able to have a meaningful conversation about the topic that you're talking about, or maybe it's you're selling something, whatever the case may be, there needs to be a training module in place that can help get them up to speed so that they're not left out in the cold asking questions. You have to understand there may be some people who are coming into your organization and they've never been in that particular profession before. So if they don't have any knowledge of the profession, then you have to expect that they're not even going to know enough to be able to ask questions. Okay? And that's a different discussion for a different day because there are multiple ways that you can do that. The second um, way that you can invest in other people is to empower them from the beginning. When they come into the organization, give them tasks that they're capable of doing. Not everything in your organization has to have someone who has all of the information and knows the business inside and out. Okay. We need to empower them. We need to put them in a position where they feel that as if they're invested, they feel that they've been invested in. And over time, you cultivate that, because as we put them through this process of engaging them and empowering them and equipping them, it leads us to be able to embrace them. All right. When you look at the team that you're building, when you look at the organization that you're building, are you embracing the people that you're working with? And I'm not talking about a physical embrace where you're hugging them or what have you. I'm talking about embracing them emotionally. You see, a lot of times when people come into a business, one of the things that the business is lacking is an emotional connection. If people don't feel like they've been invested in, why would they want to do their best for that organization? So it's something that we can all certainly look at introspectively and try and determine how best that we can fill their needs. Okay. We can look at how best we can serve them. So I appreciate everyone tuning in today. Those were 5 principles to help build your business. And I want to leave you with a parting thought. On January the 18th, uh, Jimmy, Daniel, and I are actually putting on a seminar, and you can get to it directly here on the Summit Coaching page. Uh, we are so excited about being able to offer live content with a live audience, and we want to pour into you. And you can see on the page that we're looking at vision casting, we're looking at telesales, we're looking at the basics of mortgage protection. And then Jimmy is going to share with you some of the things that he's learned over time through his conversations with Miss Betty. So if you haven't registered for that event, we strongly would love for you to join us on that journey as we launch into 2021 as Summit Coaching and building the vision of what we have for the company. So with that said, I appreciate everyone that has taken the time to tune in. We welcome your comments. We ask that you like, we ask that you share this out. We ask you to comment so that we can get back to you and engage you in conversation. So with that, Jimmy may be back tomorrow. I'll know more later this evening about what the schedule will be for the rest of the week. I know it's later in the day. My apologies for that. I had some things that I had to take care of midday. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be back around noon and we'll go from there. But I hope that you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And thanks for tuning in. Have a great one.